This tutorial is going to go over how to take a audio file that was created in AudioBoom and embed that audio file into a Blackboard question in some type of quiz or assessment item. This builds on a previous video tutorial on how to create an audio file. So I'm not going to go over how to create that audio file. If you'd like to know more about that, please watch the other video. I'll put a link into the bottom of the YouTube description. So to begin with, I've logged into my Blackboard course website and I've already created an assessment. This tutorial will not go over how to create the assessment item. That would be too long and complicated. But assume you already have an assessment that's been created with questions, with items, with responses, and with scoring rubrics associated. I am in my course right now and I've created a sample test to embed audio into these sample question items in the sample test. I need to come down over in the left hand side and choose Class Tools. Beneath Class Tools, I'm going to click on Tests, Surveys, and Pools. And what this is going to bring up is a way for me to alter the questions that would appear for students. I'm going to choose Tests. And you can see my sample test that you saw on the original Blackboard page is listed right here. To edit question items, to actually go in and embed those audio files that were previously created, I'm going to choose this drop down arrow and choose Edit. And it's going to bring up the back end for that sample test once it loads. Here's all of this information that I've already filled out and created. You can see this assessment has two questions. They're both multiple choice. How clear was the audio? And can you hear the audio? Right now, these questions are just text-based. So if you are following one of the 7 pathways and want to really design for all users and all learners, you might want to embed an audio file so that listeners can hear the question rather than having to simply rely on the written word. To edit this question, I am going to come up to this drop down arrow, and this is the process that you would go through to embed an audio file within a question. I'm going to choose Edit. So I want to embed an audio file on this question. Right now, once the page loads, you can see everything that I've already created, and it's all pretty much entirely text-based. The steps for creating an audio embedded question is really 3 or 4, and it can be a little complicated, so I want to show you how to do that. First, I'm in my edited window. I'm actually going to switch over right now and go back to AudioBoom where I've already created audio files. So I'm going to come over and I'm going to log in. I've already created an account. So I'm going to log in. Once I'm in this login screen, to access the audio files that I've already created, I'm going to come up to the very top and go to this drop-down list next to my username. And I'm going to choose Posts. That's what AudioBoom likes to call those audio files that you've created. In the previous tutorial, you saw me create 3 audio files right here. To actually move one of these audio files into my Blackboard question, I need to select the question. So I'm going to select question 1 because it aligns with that first Blackboard question that I'm editing. And here is the info on this particular audio file. If I want to listen to it, I can click play. This is question 1. I'm recording right now. before I stop, I'm going to click the pause button. So you can see it's pretty much like I want it, even though this is not what you would embed. Then, to actually take this audio file and place it into the question, I'm going to come over to the upper right and choose Embed. It gives me an embed code, and that's how I'm going to put this into the Blackboard question. So I'm going to copy all of this stuff. You really don't have to know what it means, but just copy it. So I'm going to select it. I can choose copy to clipboard, or I can do a shortcut on my keyboard, Control C or Apple C. That's a shortcut for copying. But I'm just going to click on this button right here, and it tells me it's been copied. Now I have the information that I need to put it into the Blackboard question. So I'm going to go back over to Blackboard. And right now, I'm already editing the multiple choice question like you saw previously. I'm going to come over and select HTML. And this will open the code structure for this question. Let me pull it over here. You can see the code, and these little P's with the carets around them refer to an HTML code, a paragraph tag. Don't have to know that, but it's kind of good to know. I'm going to click in this box and hit enter or return a couple of times just to move stuff down. Now, I've copied the code for the question to my clipboard, so if I paste, and I can paste by either doing Apple V on a Mac or Control V on a Windows machine, the keyboard shortcuts, I can paste that code that I copied, and you can see it comes in right here. If I wanted the audio file to be after, all I would do is just move the question back up to the top, hit return a couple times, and paste. I kind of like the audio file to be after the question. Once it's there, you want to come down and select Update. Once you've done Update, you'll see that there's this red box. Don't worry if that doesn't look like anything. It will in a second. I'm going to leave all my other information that I previously created in this question item the same, and I'm going to click Submit right here. I can also do this at the top of the page. And now you can see in this question there's the written text, and then there's the question text. This is question 1. I'm recording right now. Obviously, you wouldn't want to embed this particular question. It should probably say in spoken language how clear was the audio, but this is a sample. So everything was added. I could do that for the second question as well, and this is good practice for you to see. So I'm going to go through the process again. I'm going to come down to the drop down arrow and choose Edit. I'm going to wait for it to load. This is my second question. I don't have anything in here right now, so I have to go back to AudioBoom and find that spoken question in AudioBoom. So I'm going to come back up to the top and go to this drop down list and choose Post, doing the exact same thing I did before. I'm going to find question 2. I'm going to click on the title. Here is my second question. I could listen to it and click play right here. I'm not going to listen to it, but instead I'm just going to go to Embed, and this is where I'm going to get the code to embed it. I'm going to copy this. Then I'm going to go back over to Blackboard. And it's really important that you click on this HTML button. If you just paste it in here, it may not work. So I'm going to click HTML. It's going to open my new window. Right after this question, I'm going to paste Control V or Apple V, that code, and then I'm going to click Update. And like before, you see this little red box, and that's okay. Right now, we're still editing the question. So I'm going to click Submit. Now you can see my second question has my second audio question. Once I'm fine with how everything works, I'm going to click OK at the very bottom of the screen. And everything is saved within my sample test question. So if I was to go back to sample page, you'll see my sample test. These are the instructions that I previously filled out. I'm going to click Begin. And you can now see what actually is being completed. You can see this. And if students need to hear the question being stated, they can click play. This is question 1. I'm recording right now. Before I stop, I'm going to click the pause button. And it stops, so I can choose my multiple choice item and click Save Answer. And I'll do no. Click Save and Submit. And it's submitted with the audio file. That's how you would, in a two-part series, create an audio file that you would then embed into a Blackboard question.